All right, looks like we're good to go. Uh, just checking all the all the things I just pressed play on. All right. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking, planning, or about to go to Japan. And you're probably already thinking about how many egg sandwiches you're going to eat, or how many steps you're going to take, or how many things you're going to buy. You know, you're probably checking your bags, you're probably doing research. Uh, what am I going to bring? What am I going to take? Do I have everything? Do I pack more than I need? To try to keep minimalist so I could bring stuff back? And honestly, yeah, I'm right there right now. Um, we're about to leave soon. We're getting the luggage ready, and I don't know. I was thinking, because I haven't seen this online. Um, I haven't seen videos talking about this. Now, I've seen videos talking about um, what to do to survive a natural disaster, but no one really talks about things that are so simple that you can do to be a little bit more prepared to for when it actually happens, right? Or if you get hurt, or if you need help in an emergency situation. So this is what this video is about. Um, right here we are on in a Japanese website. It's translated into English, right? But it's like Japanese based. Um, Obviously, it's targeted for tourists, and we're gonna talk about um what small steps or things you could do, bring, or how to prepare to communicate in case of an emergency that you need help. Now, um, originally, originally, I was just, I just thought about this. It is a whistle, right? In my mind, I was thinking, um, let's say you do survive an earthquake, right? Let's say you survive an earthquake, but um, you're trapped. You survived, but now you're trapped under some rubble. Sure, you could scream. You could scream for help. But let's say you can't scream, or you can't scream loud enough, right? I feel that the whistle would be a little bit of an extra step. It's not that big. The whistle's not that big. Um, you could bring it in your bag, in your uh, day pack, while you're exploring Japan, and you could bring it and have that extra layer of protection, right? You could signal to the people rescuing, the first responders. You could signals like, "Hey, I survived. I need help." But then I went into this rabbit hole of what else is it enough? What about if it's not a natural disaster? What about if you fall and break your leg? Or something that's not so obvious. You feel dizzy, you're having a panic attack, you're having an allergic reaction, right? And maybe it's not you that's having it. Maybe it's another tourist or another person, how do you communicate this information, right? So I went to let me see, let me pull it up. I went into Google and I thought of an idea. What about if we have a emergency card, right? And not just with um not just with like our name, our information, people to contact in case of an emergency. That's that's all things that an emergency card or contact card should have, right? And this doesn't go to say what medications you take, if any allergic reactions, anything medical, right? But how do you communicate this with how do you communicate this with someone who doesn't know your language, right? Unless you're fluent in Japanese, this video is probably not for you, right? So I was thinking, I do a little bit of research. So first I started with the emergency card, right? And you see right here, this is what they recommend. To prepare for emergency in Japan, consider the following steps. Perfect. Carry a bilingual emergency card. And that makes so much sense to me, right? It started with the whistle, right? Hey, I need help. I'm over here. Find me. But then what about those emergencies where you don't, it's not like it wasn't caused by a natural disaster? You just want to, uh, you just want to get help. Let someone know that you need help. So I ended up at this website. I ended up in the US Embassy consulates in Japan. So this is something people have thought about already, right? So we're gonna go through some steps, and I'm gonna link this. I'm gonna link the website. I'm gonna link the website. I'm gonna link other resources, and there's a couple of apps you can download. I already knew of one, which was the NHK World Japan. If you don't already have it, you can search it. They have it for Android and iPhone, iPad. On the screen, you'll see the QR codes, or what are these? Like you scan these. Are they even QR codes? Yeah, I think they are. I think that's what they're called. Anyways, you scan these, you could download it, and then these will warn you in case of an impending natural disaster or pretty much anything Japan related, right? So I already knew about this one. What I didn't know was this one right here. It says safety tips for foreigners, and it landed me on this website. Now this website, I already knew what I was looking for. I was looking for things I could communicate with Japanese people, like, hey, I need a doctor, like I need help, pretty much. So if you go here to the app safety tips, right? You could download an app. There's an app. I highly recommend it. You download it, and this gives you like alerts for anything that might be happening. It covers a lot of languages. I highly recommend you download this one. So download. I recommend you download NHK World and the Safety Tips app. Again, right here you can see on the screen the QR code that you could scan, and then you could they have it for both Android and Apple. So I immediately downloaded that, and then this is what I was looking for right here. The I was looking for the helpful phrases, right? So helpful phrases, and then you click on it, and all this is on the app. So I recommend maybe copy paste some of these. I I recommend you like at least uh you write these down somewhere or copy paste, and then maybe print out a sheet. You could print out a sheet just in case for whatever reason you the internet's not working. Um, and this just in case of a natural disaster. Obviously, if you just like not feeling well, um, you can uh, you can just tell them you're not feeling well, right? You're not worried about the internet not being active or because it's not a natural disaster. So when you go on the website, it's I'll leave the link on the description. You go to the website, you go to helpful phrases, and then you could download these, right? You got transportation, after evacuation, medical treatment, foreign language information, after evacuation, another one, and then asking about safety of the present location if a disaster strikes. So I'm gonna click here the medical treatment, and you see it's in different languages. You have your I'm not very good at my Japanese is horrible. Like I'm still learning, but I could I could read some of it. But they also have it here in Romaji, right? And if you're a Spanish speaker like myself, it's so easy to pronounce, kinda. And if you're watching this video, you're already probably interested in the language, right? To some extent. So it shouldn't be hard to grasp Romaji, right? But let's say you're having, that's why I say print these out, in case you're having a problem pronouncing these, or you don't think you're pronouncing them as well. I don't think I'm pronouncing them not even remotely close to what it's supposed to sound like, but that's just me. I would, print just this part, right? This right here. Copy and then paste it in a document and then print it. And then these are so small, you could fit a couple in a sheet, and that would be your emergency card. That would be part of your emergency card preparedness, right? So I highly recommend this website. It's safety tips for travelers, right? You got phrases, download the app. If you're from the United States, right? They have this right here, this Smart Travelers Enrollment Program. So I was curious, so I clicked, and it sent me here. And pretty much, it takes 20 minutes to if you want like an extra layer, right? An extra layer of protection, there's a good choice. The service is it says Smart Traveler Program Enrollment Program STEP. It is a free service to allow U.S. citizens and nationals to enroll their trip abroad, so the Department of the State can accurately and quickly contact them in case of an emergency. The benefits are you get, like, if someone's trying to contact you from home, if what is this right here? Get real-time updates about health and weather, safety and security in the country. Plan ahead using information from the local U.S. embassy, and help the embassy or consulate contact you if there's an emergency like a natural disaster, civil unrest, or a family emergency. And it takes 20 minutes. I'm not gonna either recommend or not. This is something a little bit more personal. If you want to share your travel information with the government, um, um, uh, I'm still kind of like on the fence about it, but I'm seriously considering this, doing this STEP program. It's the Smart Travelers Enrollment Program, right? So that's all that. We got all that from the U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Japan. To stay informed before emergencies. And then we have no emergency numbers. There's a good one. Although Japan is really safe, that doesn't mean you might not need an officer, right? I don't know if it's like here where like you call and then like they might investigate who called or whatever, goes on record. I'm not sure. But the numbers are for the police 110, and for the fire department, ambulance, and rescue is 119. Now, if you combine these with the helpful phrase, right? There's a language one. Let me see if I could find it. Where like you ask if they speak English. Now these are just examples. You could always go on Google and then search what phrase. The moral of the story is find the phrases that you might think you need and write those down, like as part of your emergency card, right? Your last defense against if something goes wrong. Now, we don't like to think about something going wrong on our vacation, but it does happen. And hopefully it never happens to anyone, right? But it's one of those things that as much as you prepare for an emergency or a disaster, doesn't mean it won't happen. This is not prepare to prevent something from happening. This advice is more for communicating that something's wrong, right? Something wrong happened. Something wrong happened, and I need help. And this is just to be able to communicate to others, even if you can't speak it or you pronounce it or you don't want to make the effort. You could literally point. If there's someone in front of you, you could just point to these things, right? You know, there's an injured person. Let's say you were hiking in the mountain and you found a Japanese person who is injured. You go back for help. How do you get help to that person? Right here. If I can't pronounce Keganin ga imasu, or imas, I think that's how you pronounce that. Keganin ga imas, right? There is an injured person. You could literally just point to this right here, right? And then you could wave them. You could go walk towards the person who's injured and wave them, right? And there's other ones you could look up, but this website has some pretty good ones. Medical treatment. Did I already cover that one? Yeah, I already covered that one. But anyways, those are the ones. And lastly, let's see. I want to talk about this one right here. Yeah, other numbers. So, stay connected with the U.S. Embassy and Consulate. Register online or travel and security information. So that goes back to the STEP program, right? That goes back to the STEP program, the Smart Travelers Enrollment Program. Right, so we got that covered, right? We got numbers numbers to call the police, numbers to call the fire department, ambulance, rescue, phrases, right? And then let's see what else they have here. Use support card, emergency police calls. Support card facilitates an emergency call. Let's click on it because I feel like that'll give us more information. And there you go. See, more information. So I will also link this link in the description. We'll link this. We'll link this. Excuse me. Okay. So let's look at this one right here. It says, "Excuse me, I'm calling on 10, but I cannot explain where exactly I am. Could you please be kind enough to talk to the operator for me?" Oh, okay. So this is you handing it to someone? I'm guessing, I'm assuming. For your safety in Pleasant State, Kyoto. Okay. This is pretty cool. I'll link this information so you guys could look it over. This is what happened. All right, I'll leave links to these, and if I create my own card, I'll leave a link to that. You could download it. I'm not sure if that's gonna be ready on time for when the video comes out, but I'll definitely try to do that for you guys. But I'll definitely leave the links. Towards any kind of emergency, really. Now, again, this is emergencies, natural disasters, something going bad. It's unavoidable, but you could definitely improve. You could do things to improve them not happening, but sometimes they happen. And being prepared as a tourist that doesn't know the language in another country, it's by far very helpful, right? We want to do that. We want to stay safe. We want to enjoy our stay and want to be able to come back. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And I don't think there is. Now, this all started with the whistle, which I still recommend you grabbing, right? And then a emergency card with phrases, phone numbers that you might need, and apps on your phone. Apps on your phone. I'll leave the links. I'll leave this link. There's this one actually has a lot more information, right? That you could check out for yourselves. And that's it. I know the video ran long. I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. Wanted to make sure I got enough relevant information out there for you guys. Yeah. So I am new to the YouTube in this format, being in front of the camera. So if you like this video, it would help a lot if you just give it a like. Like, not even asking for a follow. It would be very, I would appreciate that a lot, right? I would appreciate a follow, but just a like would be enough for me. Maybe someone that's new. Now, I am by far, I am not an expert, but I want to become, right? That's our goal. That's the goal, and see you guys later.